Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matador Trades. I hope you're drinking the coffee as I am today and not the Kool-Aid. Listen, I wanted to go over a couple things. I want to make this video very short. And I've been thinking about a lot of things the last couple days. The markets have been moving very, very well. We're at all-time highs on both NASDAQ, S&P. Crypto is smoking along. I hope you all are trading with caution, with intelligence. I hope you are making a lot of money out there, and that you have hope, that you have dreams and ambitions that you're realizing. And if you're not, this message is for you. This message is for you. Okay. Now, I want to tell you something, just very briefly. I've been very fortunate in my life where I've had a lot of mentors in my life who've helped guide me. I didn't come from money. I'm just an average guy, working hard, doing my thing. And I've been very fortunate in my life, and I feel very grateful. And that's the one tenet in my life is gratitude and humility. And I think that's very important to make money as well, to prosper in life, because life is gonna have ups and downs, and I think it's super important to take a step back sometimes and say to yourself, okay, where am I in this process, and where am I mentally? Am I centered? Am I taking a time out to be grateful for the small things in my life? They don't have to be big things. So, and today I just want to touch very briefly on something that happened to me recently. There's only been 2 times in my trading career where I've had like major drawdowns. And last week was one of those times. And I had to it shook me. It really shook me. And what I did was, after that happened, I kind of took a step back and I said, all right, what is it that you did wrong? What is it you did right? I journal my trades. I write down everything. And it was an opportunity for me to learn at that moment what I did wrong. And so I want to share a few things with you, what I came out of that fire with. And that's exactly what I feel like is I came out of the fire. It's no fun to lose money. And generally speaking, people panic. I saw a trade that was, I was up quite substantially and ended up being a losing trade. It doesn't matter the dollar amount. I don't even want to talk about that. I'm not here for that. So anyway, but what I did was I sat down and I wrote out a few things that I want to share with you at this moment that I wrote. And I just want to share those. Hopefully it'll help you at some point in your trading career. If anything, it's just something to think about, right? So what I did was I kind of reset my rule book a little bit, right? And one of the thing was I said, okay, go over my daily rules. And then I have things on that daily rule, such as like A+ setups only, stop loss at every trade, risk no more than say 2 to 3% per day, max two trades per day, walk away when emotion spiked. It's very important. And I've broken some of my rules, and one of the rules I broke, which was like a cardinal sin, is not using a stop loss. And then sometimes when I've used a stop loss, I use stop losses 95% of the time. But at this particular time, I didn't, because I wanted to give the trade room to breathe. I didn't want to get stopped out. And it was a very volatile stock that I lost this money on. So I was trying to give it room. And for me to give it room, I would have to move down well below my 3% rule of thumb, so to speak, right? So I was trying to give it room. I did get stopped out because I did set that stop loss eventually, but then I jumped back in. And when I jumped back in, it was at a point where the stock had already gone up 20% in one fucking day. 20% in one day. And my mentor used to always tell me, what goes up fast comes down fast. And that was in my mind during that time. However, the emotions of it took over, okay? And I was like, okay. And all of a sudden I started to renegotiate with myself why I should stay in this trade longer, why this trade should now be an investment versus a swing trade or a day trade or anything like that, right? So when I started to renegotiate with myself mentally, That's when I was in fucking trouble. So these are things to take note of and say to myself, okay, whenever you're in a trade, remember the reason why you got in the fucking thing. If it's a trade or an investment or whatever, always remember that. All right, that's one thing. All right, the philosophy. The major philosophy I want to take away, and maybe it has something, maybe it has some value in your life, I don't know, but is I do not trade to prove my worth. I trade to express my discipline. And that goes back to my previous comment about discipline and stop losses and this sort of thing. Okay, set up guidelines. I have my guidelines. You may have yours. I use moving averages. I move VRVP. I'm just now learning the VWAP. I usually don't use that, but that combined with the VRVP is a great, powerful tool. Entry on pullbacks, support and resistance, trend lines, all that stuff I use, okay? And price action, above all, price action, right? So anyway, weekly reflection, that's very important. I do a daily reflection, and then I do a weekly. I love journaling my trades because I learn a lot about myself from it. There's a great correlation between who we are and how we approach markets, because the fact of the matter is we don't trade markets, we trade our personalities, and that's the truth. That's why you can never follow the setup of some other individual or someone trying to sell you some processes online. It just doesn't work that way. It's too much emotion, guys, especially when it comes to money. So that's that. So Trader Reset Journal. All right, now I'm gonna get to the last part of my little list here, and I'm gonna leave you with that. So, all right, the one thing is that you need to be able to stay in the battle. That's one thing. Stay in the battle, regain your flow, what I call flow, okay? Because I don't like to look at life as a battle. I don't like to look at life as a struggle. Like, even though I've been beat the fuck down in my life, and many of us have, we've been beat the fuck down. But as long as you're in the fight, you are a courageous motherfucker, because there are so many people who quit this game, who quit every game in life, who give up. They're weak. They don't want to, get up in the morning, go to the gym, walk. I don't care what it is. Put some effort into something that's going to have a profound and life-changing, effect on their lives. I don't understand it, but hey, that's just me, and everybody has their own choice. But I don't want to hear these fucking assholes, come in and say, oh, you owe us this, you owe us that. There's opportunity in this world. I don't care where you live, and you can be anything you want to be if you put your fucking mind to it. So, and you put action and attention towards it. So that's a whole nother thing. It just pisses me off because I hear these weak asses out there in this world talking about what they don't have and woe is me, and oh, I didn't have a dad, and oh, I didn't have a mom, and I grew up in poverty and all this other shit. Listen, you can always find an excuse, okay? You can always find an excuse why not, and you can always find an excuse why. So anyway, I won't get into that. So self-awareness, center yourself, have the courage to stay in the fight, take a pause if you need to, recenter yourself, take little trades, if you need to do that to kind of regain your confidence. That's what happened with me. I got stopped out. I was at a loss. I mean, I just really, what upsets me more about that trade is the fact that I didn't follow my disciplines. That upsets me more than the money loss. And then the money loss compounded on top of that. And I said, if you followed your system, you would have been in profit on this trade. But you know what? I learned something valuable from it, and I'm still learning. So it's a good thing. It's a very good thing in that regard. After, a week, 2 weeks or whatever, this thing with money, it will come, it will go, and I won't look back on it. But I will look back on the lesson that I've learned, and it will provide a better return in the long run. All right, now, the last thing I'm going to say is let your system become your religion, and remove the emotions as much as possible. We can't remove the emotions from anything we do in life. We're human beings. This whole stoicism thing and everything, hey, maybe it's for some. It's not for me. I'm a passionate person. I love myself. I love what I do. I love sharing with others. So why am I going to be emotionless? What kind of life is that? So anyway, that's all I wanted to say today, guys. Drink the coffee, not the Kool-Aid. This is Matador Trades. Trade well. Listen, in this world, I want you to go out there, be prosperous. Think of yourself as a risk manager. You are a risk manager. You're a money manager, all right? That's what you are. But don't marry that identity, all right? Just Get in your flow, be who you are, and remember your system is your religion, okay? So anyway, I hope that this video has provided some value in your life. Make lots of money. Make lots of money out there. That's what my wish is from my heart for you, okay? So go out there, make money, and do good things with it. Live a prosperous life. Manage your risk. Trade well. Matador Trades. Take care.